Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing part 2 of the July 2024 bargain bead box, the Desert Sands collection. I did do this before I left on my holidays, and I did work on the video a little bit while I was on my holidays. I had a great time, by the way, 4 days in my hometown taking care of my grandbaby. I gotta say, we did get some rest time, but not the kind of rest time I'm used to, you know, like you're watching a 2-year-old and you're sleeping with one eye open. So it was great to see my hometown. It was great to have a baby girl. And, but I was glad to get home. I am still a little bit tired. We had a full 4 days. So yeah, I do have one piece that I've done today. It's a full tutorial, very easy to do, and it looks beautiful. It turned out really, really nice. I hope you enjoy it. Before we begin, please like the video if you do like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content here, and hit that notification bell so that you know about future uploads. Okay, without further ado, let's get to it. Okay guys, we're going to be doing a bracelet today from the Desert Sands collection. This is July 2024 bargain bead box. Now in this collection, they did come with silver findings. So your toggle clasp, your bead caps, all of that was in silver. But I did a short actually with this little pendant here, and I preferred the brass color. I think that looks beautiful. I love silver, but I have better wire when it comes to the brass colored wire. So we are going to do a bracelet today, but I'm going to use the brass colored wire. And if you check on my shorts, you should see a short about this one as well. I think it's Let the Wire Tell a Story. I don't even remember anymore, but I really like the way that this one turned out. I think it's gorgeous. So we're going to do a matching bracelet to that pendant. First beads we're going to be using is the 18mm picture jasper rectangular beads. These are number 5 on your list. I absolutely love these beads. I love flat beads. I think they make the best jewelry ever. I think this is gorgeous. I can't wait to get started with this pattern I've been thinking about. 8mm picture jasper round beads. These are number 2 on your list. And I think we're only going to be using 1 or 2 of these. But again, I love the browns, the earthy tones, and the speckled color. There's a little bit of speckled black in there, brown, taupe. Honestly, these are gorgeous. 6mm frosted glass round beads in dark coral red. These are number 10 on your list. Aren't they beautiful? I love the matte texture of these beads as well. I think they're gorgeous. And then I'm going to use 20 gauge brass colored wire there, and then I'm going to use my memory wire in brass as well for the bracelet. Depending on how I'm going to finish this off, I may use the high viscosity UV resin. I'm not really sure, or I may use my E6000 glue. Let's get this cleared up and let's get started on our project. So I'm going to take a piece of my memory wire. You can see how it's naturally sitting, so it comes around like that and then overlaps and continues. I'm going to cut it overlapping probably about 3 inches, 2.5 to 3 inches. I probably don't need quite a big a piece as that, but I'd prefer to have more than not enough. And don't forget to use your special cutters for your memory wire. You do not want to be cutting memory wire with these ones. So here we are. I'm just going to stretch it out a little bit. I just want to be able to see how much I'm going to need for my own wrist. So I want it to be a little bit bigger than that. I don't like a bracelet to be too tight on my wrist. Memory wire is good for keeping its shape, but you can manipulate it a little bit. Okay, so that's a little bit better. So this is about what I want, where I want it to be sitting, like that. So I'm going to leave it at this size right now, just so I can, I'll trim it off later as I get closer to the size, the size that I want for my bracelet. I've laid out a cloth here to deal with the resin. I don't want it to wreck the mat that I have down. So I'm just going to put a little dab, just a very small dab. You don't need a lot of the resin. This is Jade Diction resin. I really like this stuff. It works great. And high viscosity means it's a little bit thicker. So like I said, you only need a little bit. So I'm going to take my stick here and I'm going to put a dab of that. I'm going to heat that up because we want that to be really hard. So I'm going to put that under the light again, just for a minute or two. Really hardens it up nice. So there is the first resin bead done. I'm going to do one more layer just to make this bead a little bit bigger. Now there are two ways of doing this. You could just continue layering this resin, make it a little bit bigger round bead at the end of your bracelet, and then you wouldn't need the bead, but I do want the bead on there, so I am going to make it just one bead bigger, or one layer bigger, I guess. And I'm just going to cure it. Now I use this blue light just to temporarily cure it so that when I put it under the bigger lamp, you know, it doesn't move around. It'll just harden the way that it is. And you can put color in your resin, sparkles, glitter, whatever you want. If you wanted to do something like that, I think that would look really pretty. So now that's hard. I can put it under the big lamp and cure it for a couple of minutes, because I think a couple of minutes is what it's going to need. It's not very big, as you can see. The little bead on the end of that is pretty small. Okay, so just in case you're curious, this is the mat that I use to cover my main mat, just when I'm using resin to protect it. These come in a pack of, I don't know, like 20 or 30 at the local hardware store. I love them, and they work great for cleaning your vehicle too. Okay, so I've cured this for about 5 minutes. It's perfectly cured now, nice and ready for the bead, to hold the bead on. So I'm going to put the bead on there. And that really does give a nice finished look. I'm going to put one of these matte beads on there. Oh, I think this is going to be perfect. So here's where we're at right now, and this bracelet has definitely widened up a little bit because of the flat rectangular beads. They really push it straight. So this is pretty much the size that I want. Isn't that cute? Oh, I like that. So what I'm going to do before I finish the end of this, we are going to add the wire. It is a very simple and easy design. So I don't want these beads to fall off. I am going to make a loop at the end. Where's mine? I'm just going to make a loop at the end so none of these beads fall off while I'm working, because they probably will. I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to make a temporary loop there, and that will just hold the beads in place while I work. Okay, I swapped out the 20 gauge for a 24 gauge wire. I think this is going to be a little bit better for weaving and the plan that I have for this bracelet. The 20 gauge is a little bit too stiff for what I have planned here today, so I'm going to do that. I'm just going to kind of move these out a little bit. I want some space here to add my wires. And I'm just going to start by going on this side of that bead, the last bead. I'm going to give a tail about 2 inches, and I'm going to wrap this around. My bead there. 3 times should do it, and then press that bead in. I'm just going to cut a section off. It's going to be about an 18 to 20 inch piece. All right, so this is going to be easier to work with it here. So now I've got this wire coming around that bead. Hold that in place and bring that wire around. Go twice around it. And we are finished the first little section here. Now we're going to do the same exact thing, but we're going to do it with the bigger wire, and we're going to come around like that and hold that bead in place and wrap this around twice. Okay, and press that bead up, make sure everything's tight, and then just keep going. We're going to go around this bead and go twice. Press it together, make sure everything's nice and tight, and then take your wire, holding that wire with your thumb on the flat part of that rectangle bead, and then go twice between the rectangle bead and the matte bead. So this is what you should have at this point. And then you're just going to repeat that all the way around until you get to this section here. So do that all the way around, and I will meet you back here when we get here. So I did slightly cut off a little bit too much, but honestly, that's okay. I can trim this off and use this for something else. I always say it's better to have a little bit more than not enough wire, because if you don't have enough, then you are definitely trying to splice, and you don't want to do that. I like to have the wire, one piece of wire that I don't have to worry about. Okay, so here's the last wire, or the last bead here. Now I don't know if I'm going to end it. I think I will have to end this, yes, on this red bead, because that's what I've done. So I'm just going to check this now before I cut and trim if this is actually going to fit my wrist properly. Oh yes, definitely. Beautiful. So we've got a little bit of space in the back there, which is fine because I am going to put a little chain on there. All right, so now I am going to wrap this one 3 times because that's what I did here. So I'm going to wrap this one. So I've already got one wrap around there. I'm going to add two more, sorry. So 2 more. My goodness, if my brain was functioning properly. Okay. So that's the 3 added there. I'm going to trim this off, and I'm going to leave another tail about that big. Now I'm going to trim this little loop that we made. Again, do it with your proper cutters and just trim up against that. Hold it, you don't want it flying. Okay, so now we've got the main focal of our bracelet done. I love this, I think it's so cute. I'm going to put that bead, the other bead, on here. Because I want it to sit right there. I'm going to trim this about there. Oh, it have to be a little bit shorter maybe. I'm going to trim it about 1/8 of an inch. And then what we want to do, I'm going to bring my cloth back here. I'm going to put it back on my mat. I don't want my mat getting full of resin. So I've got my mat back here again. I've got my resin. Now I'm still using the same, oh, it hardened up a little bit. It hardened up already. Okay, I'm just going to take this lid off. Put just a tiny dab there. I guess that would make sense. The sun is coming out now, of course, right? Get my blue light ready. And I'm going to finish off the other side of my bracelet. So I'm going to trim these off. So just do the best you can, as close as you can there. And I'm gonna just finish those off, press them in. And you don't really have to worry about anybody being scratched because these beads are big enough. The wire is not going to touch anyone. You just want to finish them off. It looks much more professional this way. So there is our finished wire bracelet. Now you can put a chain on here. You don't have to. I just prefer to do it because it just secures the bracelet on my wrist. But before we do that, now that I have the bracelet pretty much done, I want to do something with these wires here. Because although they look nice, although it looks nice, it's a little bit plain, and I want to just add a little touch. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to keep the bracelet in my hand this way, because I want all that I'm going to do facing the same way. So at this point, we are going to get a flat nose pair of pliers, and I'm going to use this size here. I got a couple of smaller ones, but I want a bigger set. And I am going to take that wire pretty much in the middle, if you can see. So I'm going to take it right about there. It's hard for me to show you on the front there, but I'm going to take it like that, and I'm going to bend it. I'm going to do each one the exact same way. And that just gives it a little more class. And then you can, you know, kind of play around with the wire that's on your little red beads there. If you want them more to the front, just hold everything around it. Like hold everything, like these two pieces, hold that, and then you can move that wire wherever you want it to be. And I think that is precious. I love these two colors together. I think they are absolutely beautiful. Now it is a little bit heavier, but because it's a bracelet, I don't think that's a really big issue. I don't find that to be a problem for me. I love my bracelets, so so I'm just going to add a chain. Now I just got to find a chain of the same color. It adds a little bit of stability to the bracelet, because basically, you know, like it could pop off. It could just boom, you know, like that. So I want to add a little chain just to make sure that it stays put, so that it comes down here. It's not a real big deal. So I've got two chains here. This one is from the Dollar Bead Box. Dollar Bead Box. I used to get beads and stuff from the Dollar Bead Box. I did like this subscription, but I just found that I had too many subscriptions going on. So I'm kind of torn between using this. I wanted to use this chain. Now this one I got from Amazon. It is beautiful. It has these little hearts. Isn't that pretty? I'll leave a link. Of course, I'm going to leave a link to everything, but I'll leave a link for this one specifically if you guys are interested in purchasing this. But I love that. And for chain, beautiful. But for something like this, because this has to be a little more durable, I'm going to be forced to use this one. This one here is a lot stronger. The links are stronger. This is more for a delicate pendant or something that you're going to wear. I'm going to make my own jump rings. That'll definitely hold it together, keep it on my wrist. It shouldn't fall off, at least not easily. Like you can see, it's kind of, you know, it has a little bit of pressure there to come off. So that is the easiest way if you want to create you know, like putting a chain here. What do you guys think? And it's so easy to do. And because I love my bracelet so much, I need a pair of earrings to go with this. So you guys want to do a pair of earrings? Let's do a pair of earrings. Okay, we are going to make this earring now to match our bracelet. I haven't added my ear wire yet, but we will do that in a minute. This earring only takes a few minutes to make, and it is so pretty. I love it. Okay, so we're going to cut approximately a 6-inch piece of the 20 gauge brass wire. I didn't even measure it. I'm just kind of eyeing it because honestly, we will have a little bit of, we won't have much left over, but we will have some. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our pliers, these ones here, and I'm going to use the second smallest. And I am going to make it a little uneven. So one side is going to be a little bit longer than the other, not by much, but a little bit. So this side here is a little bit bigger than this side, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to cross those wires like this. So this is what you have. So I'm going to put this wire or this bead on the longer wire. So you have the other wire that's looping around the front and crossing over. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this wire and you're going to take this wire. Geez, I can't even hold this. You're going to take this wire here that the bead is on, and you're going to bring it around and in front of this wire here, and that locks the bead in. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to cross it over, and then we're going to cross the one in the back over. And that's what we have. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the same side on the shorter bead, on the shorter length of wire. And then we're going to take this wire and we're going to cross it to the back, and that locks in again that bead. And depending on how many beads you want to add, I'm going to add 3. So I'm going to do it one more time. So this is the longer wire. It's going to go in front of that wire, and that wire is going to go behind and cross. Okay, so this is what you have created. So now you want to bring this longer wire down a little bit and bring the shorter wire right at an angle like that. Now I'm going to use my round nose pliers and I'm going to hold this wire, and I only want to do one wrap with this shorter piece. So just one wrap, no more than that. That is it. Now we're going to trim this off. We're going to trim this off right there. I'm going to take my pliers and I'm just going to press that in, not real tight. You don't have to do it real tight because it's already holding those beads. I'm going to press this in a little bit more. There. So now that end piece is hidden because this is going to be your front. This is the front of my other earring, and you can see all the wire loops are to the outside. So I want the same for the other one. Okay. Now you're going to put your you're going to put your rectangle bead on there, and keep your other earring in sight because basically you want to go opposite to what this one is. So now we're ready to take this wire and go up this way. So this one was going this way, I wrapped it around. This one is going to go this way. So hold your wire nice and tight. Make sure that these rings here or these loops here are to the outside of your bead, and bend it to this side. Okay, now all you have to do is take your wire and wrap it around once, and I'm hiding it to the back. I'm going to trim that off. I'm going to pull that out a little bit and then trim it. And I'm going to push that in so it's hidden, nobody can see it. And then I'm going to straighten this shank out here a little bit. Now, I'm just going to take my flat nose pliers and go the opposite direction of what this was. So this one here, this earring, I bent it this way. This earring, I have to bend it this way. So like that. There. And there is a cute, fast pair of earrings that took like less than 5 minutes. So there we go, a really cute set from the Desert Sands collection for the July 2024. I hope you like it. And I'm wearing these today to lunch with my mom. Yeah. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I would love to know if you guys try this piece. Again, very easy to do and beautiful. I loved wearing it. I'm going to get out of here now. You guys have a great day, and I will see you back here for my next one. Bye.